Hi, welcome to Let's Cook and Fish for the Heart today. You know, fish contain omega-3 fatty acids, fatty oils. Those omega-3 oils are so good for us, so healthy. So I'm actually going to do 2 recipes in this segment using fish. The first one here is I have some grouper. And we're going to take this grouper and we're going to steam it with some pea pods, some ginger, some garlic, and some onions, and then make a wonderful dressing to go over that with a little bit of sweet soy sauce. Out of this world. Secondly, I have a piece of salmon over here, and I'm going to take this salmon and I'm going to shallow poach this salmon and serve it with some chives and tomatoes in a clam broth. Both very low fat, both very heart healthy, both very good for you. The first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and get everything ready to steam here. So I have my steamer all set up here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my onion right here. Just going to take this onion, we'll cut off the end of it right there, and you can julienne this, but I'm actually going to cut this in 4s like this. So what I did is I left a little bit of the end on right here to hold it together so that it doesn't fall apart. And I'll take my onion right now. I'll set this up in a steamer basket so that can steam. So we have our onion in here. In addition to our onion, just take our pea pods right here, and we'll just clean these up if they need to be cleaned up. This is nice and clean. And these also go right into our steamer basket. Secondly, I have a little bit of garlic here. The garlic I'm going to use to flavor my dressing, but I'm also going to use it to flavor my steaming liquid. So I put a little bit of garlic in there. I also will take a little bit of ginger here. About 1/4 of a knob of ginger right here. Now, to bring out the flavor of the ginger, I can do 2 things. One thing I can do is I can slice it like this, or if I want to, I could take a piece like this, and with my knife, just smash it and expose the oils of the ginger and put that in. So we're just going to put that right into our broth. Additionally, a little soy sauce here. Good. So now my liquid is now ready to steam my fish. Now we need to cut the fish. We'll take our fish now. Let's clean up this board here just a little bit. Take our fish, beautiful grouper. Now grouper is good for steaming, but it's also good for frying, baking, broiling, and you know, according to the American Heart Association, we should be eating fish about twice a week. So I have my other basket right here, and what I did is I lined this basket with greens. And that's also going to help impart a nice flavor. I had a whole bunch of chives here, so I'm using these chives, but you could use lettuce, anything like that, as long as we separate the fish so the steam hits it equally. I'm going to take this right now, put this on the bottom of my steamer right here so that can start to steam. Then we'll take our vegetables, I'm going to put them on top, we're going to let that start to steam. Before I leave this, so I can make the dressing now too. So let me just get a bowl right here. Now for my dressing, I'm going to use my soy sauce, not sweet, just regular soy sauce, a little bit of sherry, a little bit of sesame oil, some finely minced garlic, some finely minced ginger, and a smidgen of honey. Notice there's no oil in this dressing. Just a little bit of honey there, only because I love it. And again, when you want to be heart healthy, you really want to be aware of your sugars and how much sugar you're using. So I just use a little bit just to sweeten this up. Make sure it has that balance. So now my dressing is ready. The only thing I have to do with my dressing is I'm going to take a little bit of my poaching liquid and add that poaching liquid to my dressing as well. So we're going to have even some more, because some of the oil that comes out of the fish we're also going to have. Next, for our salmon, we need to poach our salmon. Now, to poach the salmon, we're going to actually make a cover for our pan out of parchment paper. I'm going to show you how to do that. Take a piece of parchment paper like this, hide from your neighbors. No, that was a joke. I don't know if it made any sense. But we just take our parchment paper like this. We fold it in half. I'm going to fold it in half again. Then, where I have the half here, I'm going to take this, I'm just going to fold this in half too. And it's almost like I'm making a fan. I'll come over here, I'll fold this in half. And if I want, I'll even fold this in half. So now, I just take this, I bring it to my pan, I go to the middle of my pan right here. I hold my hand right here, see where my hand is right there? That way I know where to cut it. I just go like this, and I just cut across this way. Da, 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 da. And we have a nice cover, a nice round cover to go over our pan when we shallow poach. Perfect. Now let's get our fish in the pan to poach. I have this beautiful piece of salmon here. Oh, and salmon is just, it has a proper fat content. It's just very good for you to eat, especially if you want to be heart healthy. Now with the salmon here, right here on the belly, this is a little bit fishier right here. With my knife, I'm just going to take my knife and I'm just going to remove this part right here. This part here, actually, let me get my other knife over here. This part over here, I like to actually poach and then take that and make a nice salmon salad out of. Again, if you'd like, you can use low-fat mayonnaise. Now, we need to remove the salmon from the skin. To remove the salmon from the skin, what we're going to do is we'll actually use our knife, and you should have a flexible knife like this. You know, make sure it's a nice flexible knife, whether it's a boning knife or a slicing knife or a carver. But what we'll do is we'll bring our salmon close to the edge of the cutting board here. With my hand here, I'm just going to hold and support the salmon here till I come down to where the skin is. Then where the skin is here, I just take my knife and I just cut it off and I remove, leaving the skin behind. Do that one more time. Where I can go like that, then where the skin is, and then when I put this in a refrigerator, it's very nice because then I can also go like this and I can just have that skin supported. I'm not going to wash this. Another way you can skin salmon, because I'm going to show you something right here. You see the bottom here? You see the darker part of the fish, the browner part of the fish right here? That's where we have a lot of the omega-3s. One way you can ensure that you're going to have omega-3s is you can skin the whole salmon too. Start with your knife here. You pull the skin against the knife this way. And you'll see here that I'm leaving a lot more of the darker part of the salmon on there. Now, if you go to a very nice restaurant, a lot of times they'll remove that for you. Let me just get a side towel here. What I like to do is sometimes I like to use my hand. Just makes me one with the fish, makes my heart feel better. So we take our hand like this. We put it where the cut was right there. So you have to make sure you have a nice fresh salmon. And then we just pull the skin across our hand. And we skin the whole fish this way. Notice here, when I look here, very little of the fish is on the skin right here. It's all on my salmon right there. Also, you know, a little bit of fish oil on your hands. So if you don't like the smell of fish, you don't want to do that. You really have to remove that. But that's because mackerel and salmon are very high in that omega-3 oil. So just come over here. And again, I'm just going to cut, let me see, 2 more pieces right here. Now I'm going to take my salmon right now. We're going to actually set this up right in the pan. No fat in the pan at all. Set these up. Make sure that you have at least a ½ inch of distance in between your salmon fillets. We're going to shallow poach this. So now what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of clam broth right here. So it's coming about halfway up the salmon. We season this with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, put in a couple of garlic cloves right in here, a few bay leaves. We take our parchment paper now. We put this on top. Now, a lot of times you might see a recipe where they have you take the parchment paper and they have you spray it or brush it with butter. You don't have to do that. As long as you wet it a little bit this way, turn it over this way so it's nice and moist. I'm going to put this on a very low heat so that I get very small bubbles and it just simmers, and I'm going to have perfectly poached salmon. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh, my vegetables are almost done here. We're going to take a little break, and then when I come back, I'll show you how we plate these wonderful, heart-healthy fish dishes today on Let's Cook. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook. Now it's time to go ahead and plate our fish. First thing we're going to do is we have our onions here with our pea pods, and what I like to do is I'm just going to take these, put these right into the dish here, kind of mix them together like that. Doesn't have to look too pretty. Now, look at how gorgeous our fish looks. Out of this world, this wonderful grouper. Gently, we're just going to pick up our grouper, a few pieces at a time. We're going to put them right in with our vegetables here. Oh, and this is so healthy for you because it's the water-soluble vitamins are still present in this. It's out of this world. So let me just put 3 pieces of grouper in there. what I'll also do now is I'm going to take, and I'll remove this from my pot right here. Now see right here, look at the color that we have. We're just going to take a little bit of this broth and add it to our dressing here. I'm not going to thicken this. Then we just take this. This goes right over top of everything. So we have this delicious, healthy soy. It's a little bit of a sweet soy dressing to go with our grouper, our pea pods, and our onions. A little bit of honey in there. No fat, no oil. Out of this world. Next, whoops, coming right over here, we have our salmon. Now let's take a look at our salmon because our salmon is gently poaching here. Now you'll notice that parts of the salmon still need to be cooked, but they're almost probably all cooked all the way through. So what we do is you don't want to be afraid to take the liquid while it's cooking and baste this a little bit. It's almost like you're making poached eggs where you just baste this a little bit. You see how those coagulate right away? And the other thing that's going to happen is through a process known as carryover cooking, this will continue to cook. So now we'll remove our bay leaves. We'll take our salmon now, set this up on the plate. Oh, this is going to be so delicious. And it's just perfectly cooked. It's not overdone. Then with the broth that we have left in here, what we're going to do with this is we're going to bring this up. We're going to let this reduce down a little bit. We already have the flavor of the garlic in there, so I'm actually going to put the garlic here with the fish. Then to this now, in go my tomatoes. Just going to let that cook just for a little bit, and then I'm going to finish it with chives, and it goes right on top of my fish. Next, soba noodles. Buckwheat, so healthy, so good for you. We're going to now make a vegetarian dish. So here I have some eggplant, I have some mint, I have arugula, tomatoes, garlic, and soba noodles. So to make this, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to heat my pan here a little bit. Now, I add my eggplant. I'm making this fat-free. So we put our eggplant in there. Along with our eggplant, we just add a splash of water here. Just a splash of water, no olive oil. We put our garlic in here. We cover this. Let that eggplant just soften up a little bit with the water. While that's going on, take our soba noodles that are wrapped so nicely here. And in some very hot water here, I'm just going to put my soba noodles here. These will take about 3 minutes to soften up. They don't take too long to soften up at all. So we have these wonderful soba noodles. And if you don't want to use soba noodles or you don't like that, you can use pasta. Just remember, watch your refined flours. Cover those, those start to cook. Coming back over here, my sauce has reduced by about 1/3. I have nice consistency here. I have the natural salt that was present from my fish. Flavor with this with some herbs. And remember, if you want to eat heart healthy and you're, let's say, on a very low sodium diet, you can use a lot of herbs, and the herbs are going to impart a lot of flavor. So now we'll take our tomato clam broth here, right over top of our salmon there, out of this world. Oh, looks great. And those were shallow poached. So we have our salmon done here. We have our grouper done here. We have our eggplant just starting to wilt a little bit. Once it gets wilted like this just a little bit, I'm going to add my tomatoes. Stir this around, season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. And again, cover this and let it continue to sweat. It's going to sweat while my soba noodles get soft, and my mint and arugula don't go in yet. Let's take a little break, and then when we come back, I'll show you how we make this. Plus, we have a root salad that's out of this world. Heart healthy, fish for your heart today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook. Now, we're ready to finish our eggplant dish. So we have our eggplant here, which we've just been kind of steaming with the tomatoes and the garlic and a little bit of water. Look at all the liquid that came out of our eggplant. To this now, we'll add our arugula. We're going to let this wilt just a little bit. Since it's a green vegetable, we do this uncovered. We want to maintain the color of our arugula. While that's going on, I'll just pick up some of my soba noodles right here. Right in. Beautiful. These soften right up. The wonderful flavor. Very healthy. Whole grain going on right there. Again, very heart healthy. Now you'll notice that now my arugula has totally wilted. Beautiful. In goes my mint. We add the mint. Now remember, there's been very little seasoning going into this, so all we have is a natural salt in the foods here. I need to taste this now. I now need to season it with a little bit of good sea salt or kosher salt, a little bit of pepper, and I don't want to use any oil in here, but I will take just a little bit of vinegar right here and add that vinegar once my greens have wilted. The vinegar is going to give it the balance that it needs. Beautiful. Now, so this is now good to go. So I'm just going to plate this up right here with the soba noodles, the tomatoes. That's all together. Absolutely gorgeous. Just let's balance it a little bit. Doesn't that look good? Again, very heart healthy, very good for you. Next, right here on this plate right here, I have great root vegetables, great healthy vegetables. I have some jicama, some squash, onion, carrot, celery, butternut squash, acorn squash, salt, pepper, olive oil, a little bit of white balsamic vinegar or champagne vinegar. Then I have some oregano, dill, and parsley that I'm going to use to make this salad. So what I did, let me just get my bowl right here. What I did is I took all these vegetables, I cut them in a very small dice, just to show you how small that dice is. Beautiful small dice, a nice brunoise right there. These are blanched and shocked. We now take all of our vegetables. Now this is good. Not only would this be good as a side dish yourself, but this would be very good in the summer, cold. You can also lightly warm this and use this as a side dish too. Out of this world. We add all our herbs to this now. Now I'm not making the dressing separately. All I'm going to do now is a little bit of vinegar to moisten it. A little bit of olive oil there to moisten it, just enough to moisten it. A little bit of salt. A lot of pepper. Now we just take this now and we toss this just until it's coated and it gets a little shine to it. And this is going to be our root salad where the flavor of the vegetables are really going to come through. Let me finish tossing this. Let's take a little break, and then when we come back, we're going to look at all the fish, heart-healthy food we made today on Let's Cook. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Fish for the Heart, heart-friendly food, heart-healthy food today on Let's Cook. I have the root salad that we made here, and I'm just setting this up. These are all blanched vegetables that we made a wonderful champagne dressing for. Oh, this just works so well for me. It has all the different textures, flavors, and tastes. So in addition to the root salad with the champagne dressing, we did our steamed grouper with onions and pea pods in a sweet soy dressing. We did our shallow poached salmon in a delicious tomato clam broth. And furthermore, we did our soba noodles with eggplant, tomatoes, mint, and arugula. You know, we want to keep our heart healthy. We have to exercise. We need to make sure we eat really good food. Fish contains are very high in omega-3 oils, very heart healthy, heart friendly, very good for us. But if you're vegetarian, there are other vegetables that are heart healthy that are very good, have lower dosages, lower strength omega-3. Flaxseed is an example. Soybean is another example. Tofu, which is made from soybean. Walnut, canola oils. All of them contain omega-3 oils, which are very heart healthy, heart friendly, good for you. You know, you have to eat to take care of yourself, and you have to eat to live. You should enjoy it. But remember, everything in moderation. Keep our heart healthy. Thank you for watching Let's Cook today. You have a nice day, and stay healthy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.